based off of what we see here. But this just blows my mind, man. The absolute hypocrisy, the double standard for people who stand up for Judeo-Christian values, and how they're targeted as Christian nationalists and put under a blanket of extremism because they believe in things like the sanctity of life, because they believe in things like the sanctity of marriage and how marriage should be protected, and not, you can't just define marriage to be whatever you want it to be. And by the way, if you believe any of those things, still love you.
So, still, I love you too, buddy. It's okay, you know. But so we got an article or a blog from the Friendly Atheist today talking about like Christian nationalism, and this journalist that's rightly called them out as Christian nationalists, and well, the Christian nationalists don't like to be called Christian nationalists. So we're gonna get into it. I'm Brentley, and this is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. So I found this article. This is Friendly Atheist. He puts out these blogs like every single day. He does one of these. It's awesome, and they're it's really good reporting. It just makes it so we actually know what's going on without having to like comb through the news, with like a magnifying glass to find all of the the uh, anti-freedom of religion type stuff. It's just he's really good at pinpointing the Christian nationalism and like what they're actually doing. So I wanted to take a look at this article. And this is: Christian nationalists are furious at reporter Heidi Prisbilla for accurately reporting on them. So, and as you can see from the clip earlier, like this is, he has the actual news clip here in the article here, but I'm just gonna we can watch it through the eyes of the fundy. You know what I mean? That's kind of fun, right? Like we can see what they think about it, right? But we're gonna read his article first. So, and this is by Emmett Meta. Right? If there's one thing that certainly that's a certainty heading into the 2024 presidential elections, it's that Donald Trump, if he wins again, will surround himself with Christian nationalists who believe the Bible, not the Constitution, ought to dictate how we run the country. And it's only their conservative interpretations of the Bible that counts. That's the basis of Project 2025. That's how right-wing justices have defended their insane decisions, including the Alabama Supreme Court's recent ruling to effectively block IVF treatments, right? We talked about that before, where they basically in Alabama said that you can't really have embryos because those are actual people, and freezing actual people and keeping them in storage, that's just inhumane. You can't freeze humans and just, wait to use them later. The whole thing ends up like really stupid when you redefine things, which is kind of hilarious because this dude was just talking about how you can't make definitions of marriage whatever you want it to be, but they can do that when it comes to fucking embryos. So anyway, Jesus Christ, it's so stupid. That's how Speaker Mike Johnson is running the Republican Party. That's also why it was troubling but not surprising when Politico reported last week that a right-wing think tank was developing plans to infuse Christian nationalist ideas in Trump's administration. Should the former president return to power. The piece by Alexander Ward and Heidi Prisbilla explained that the Center for Renewing America and its president, Russell Vought, had drafted a document with priorities for a second Trump term. Christian nationalism is literally one of the bullet points. Jesus. While specifics are lacking, the implications are obvious, especially since Vought is an advisor for Project 2025. The documents obtained by Politico do not outline specific Christian nationalist policies, but Vought has promoted a restrictionist immigration agenda, saying a person's background doesn't define who can enter the U.S., but rather citing biblical teachings whether that person accepted Israel's God, laws, and understanding of history. Not really sure what that means. Whether that person accepted Israel's God, laws, and understanding of history. Got it. Okay. Vought has a close affiliation with Christian nationalist William Wolf, a former Trump administration official who has advocated for overturning same-sex marriage, ending abortion, and reducing access to contraceptives. Oh my God, they just want to force everybody to have children that they don't want, that they can't take care of. It's insane. They're like, no, you can't have. No, I mean, you don't. We're going to outlaw abortion, but no, now we're also going to make it so that you can't even get contraceptives. So it's like you're not allowed to have sex. If you're not trying to have kids, you're not allowed to have sex. It's fucking insane. What the hell is going on? And it's like, and I think they do that because they think that that'll like stop people from having, sex for fun, right? As if like you're not just taking sex away from married couples too. Like they act like the only people that have sex for fun are like unmarried people that shouldn't be having sex according to the Bible. Anyway, I don't know. It's a side tangent, but it's fucking insane, right? After that article was published, Priscilla appeared on MSNBC last Thursday night to discuss the piece, and she reiterated the link between the next Trump administration and Christian nationalism. See, here's the clip. But just wait. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch it through this crap chat, whatever the chatty crap guy. What I don't know what it's. I don't care. And the one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different. See, this is actually from the clip, so let's go down a little bit. But what she said there was accurate. Anyone who's been following Christian nationalism over the past few years could tell you that's accurate. So we'll play some of the clip now. Let me see if I can find this. All right. Oh, wait, let me put that. I have to switch screens. That's right. Not used to doing both here. All right. There we go. All right. Edit that out. All right.
Hey, let me ask you, do your rights, do they come from the government? Do they come from the Supreme Court? Do they come from Congress or the president? Or do they come from God? Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Okay. These questions are so stupid, to be completely fucking honest, because of course they come from government. Now, I could say that, oh no, I actually get my rights from a rainbow-colored giraffe named Lisa, leaf be upon her. But does that really fucking mean anything? Who gives a fuck if I think that? That's totally useless. And anybody could say that, yeah, the invisible thing is actually what gives us our rights. But when you actually look at history, right? And, like, oh no, God gives everybody the rights. Okay, so then the slaves? So God made sure that they didn't have rights for hundreds of years, right? Because if your God gives everybody rights, he does a fucking shit job. Because it wasn't until the humans actually came in and were like, you know what? Those are humans too. Like those people over there, like, and I think they deserve rights. Hey, government, the institution that actually does grant rights with any kind of meaningfulness to the term, right? Can you do this? Because, the God thing ain't doing too great at it, But all right, anyway, sorry.
If you, let's just say, you believe that your dignity, your value as a human being, your rights come from a supreme almighty being that created you, that designed you, that intended you in your mother's womb. If you believe that, would it be fair to say that you are a Christian nationalist, or which is usually
No, that's not what anybody means. Just believing that one thing. No. Jeez Louise, man. You can believe that all you want. That doesn't make you a Christian nationalist. What makes you a Christian nationalist is when you basically say that everybody else in the country has to live in accordance with your religion, because your religion is what runs the country and what decides whether or not people, which people get rights. because I can guarantee if the Christians got all of their power that they want, if all the Christian nationalists got what they wanted, the people that would lose their rights would be like all the LGBTQ people, women just out the gate. I mean, it'd be fucking Handmaid's Tale. You know what I mean? It just, if we gave y'all the power, people would lose rights. That's why. That's what the problem is with Christian nationalism. Anyway, all right, moving on.
Code for a Christian extremist. How would you feel about that? It'd be fair to say that you are a Christian nationalist, or which is usually code for a Christian extremist. How would you feel about that?
What? It's amazing that they can't. So he's saying, if they call you a Christian nationalist, like, does he not even put the words together to be like, okay, these are two separate words, here are two separate concepts. Putting them together means what? No, he's like, that just means Christian extremist. Yeah, that's it. Oh, so we're just, so if we're talking about fucking, if we say Christian nationalists, we're automatically just talking about the Westboro Baptist Church. No, man, that's not what we mean here. Christian nationalist has a very specific meaning, obviously. What?
Well, I think a lot of people would say, yeah, that would be pretty wild, but not many people would ever have the boldness to say such a crazy claim. Yeah, it's becoming more and more mainstream that people are thinking about this. And it's actually being said.
Yeah, it's almost as if like y'all keep taking rights away from people and pointing to the fucking Bible, which is like against the first sentence of the first clause of the First Amendment, which says there we shall make no law respecting a religion. Yeah, you guys keep going. All right, we're going to make these laws, and it's because of my religion. That's why embryos can't be frozen, because you can't freeze people because of my religion. That's why. That's in the legal fucking breakdown. It's my religion, my religion, my religion, my religion, my religion. That's why these embryos are people.
Directly from the mouths of people in the mainstream media. This is exactly what Heidi Prisbilla from Politico said on MSNBC the other day. And I want to share with you right now the exact clip of what she said about anybody that believes that their rights, that their inherent intrinsic value comes from God and not from government. I'm going to share with you some other clips that'll kind of paint the picture about why this is not just foolish, this is problematic for so many people. And ultimately, I'm going to share some hope with.
Aren't you supposed to say like some more extreme version of the word you just said? Like, this is not just foolish; it's fucking idiotic. Isn't that how it's supposed to go? I don't know. Maybe
if you at the end, because God's got a big plan for people that think this way and want to come against God's people. So let's take a look at the clip directly from.
We want to come against God's people that are trying to force everybody to live in accordance to their religion, even if they don't believe in it. Exactly how you wouldn't want things to be if the fucking, I don't know, the Muslims took over or something like that. And they're like, no, you got to pray 5 days a week. Do you have your government issued mat? If you don't have your government issued mat, you're going to fucking jail. Like, how would you like that, buddy? Crap chat fail. I don't fucking care.
What this lady, Heidi Prisbilla from Politico said on MSNBC.
Right? Remember when Trump ran in 2016, a lot of the mainline evangelicals wanted nothing to do with the divorced, real estate mogul who cheated on his wife and with a porn star and all of that, right? So what happened was he was surrounded by this more extremist element. You're going to hear words like Christian nationalism, like the New Apostolic Reformation. These are groups that you should get very, very schooled on, because they.
So extremism, Christian nationalism, and then this New Apostolic Reformation. It's mind blowing that all of these things are coming together, and just listen to the way that this is being discussed as like public enemy number one for people in America.
They have a lot of power in Trump.
Yeah, I mean, their whole. I feel like her point is like that he's not even really a good Christian or anything, and these Christian nationalists are just cozying up to this fascist dictator type, so that they can gain as much power as humanly fucking possible, so that they can then push their crazy rules on all of us. That's the point I feel like she's making. But let's let her continue.
Circle, and the one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different,
Mhm.
is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God. The problem with that is that they are determining men, it is men, are determining what God is telling them. And in the past, that so-called natural law is, it's a pillar of Catholicism.
Oh my gosh, dude, this blows my mind.
I mean, I don't feel like there's too much that won't blow your mind, buddy. If you heard what comes out of it, it's not great. So let's take a little bit more of a look at the article. I am going to get to comments in a minute. Sorry, I just kind of wanted to get through this little bit here. I'm going to try to do this back and forth type thing, and see how we can do. All right. So now we went through. Let me just read the whole thing, and then just actually, because I think he's going to keep on stopping it. So let me just do it real quick. And the one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them is Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God. The problem with that is that they are determining men. It is men are determining what God is telling them. And in the past, that so-called natural law is, it's a pillar of Catholicism. For instance, it's been used for good in social justice campaigns. Martin Luther King evoked in the talking about civil rights. But now you have an extremist element of conservative Christians who say that this applies specifically to issues including abortion, gay marriage, and it's going much further than that. As you see, for instance, with the ruling in Alabama this week, that judge is connected to the Dominionist faction in talking about a lot of other issues, including surrogacy, IVF, sex education in schools. There's a lot in addition. So, well, what she said there was accurate. Anyone who's been following Christian nationalism over the past few years could tell you that's accurate. If she made any mistake, it's that she said Christian nationalists believe our rights come from God, when that's something plenty of other Christians believe too. So, he is acknowledging that she should have parsed that out a little bit better, right? The thing about Christian nationalists is that they seek to impose their beliefs and their interpretations of the Bible on the rest of the country. That specifically is what makes a Christian nationalist, right? It's not just believing that your rights come from God. Although I don't really, because who gives a fuck if you think that? Congrats, bro. Doesn't matter, because that doesn't determine literally anything. You could have a Christian person, a Christian gay person that believes that their rights come from God, and people like you will still strip their fucking rights. So it doesn't matter. But she clearly tried to distinguish that group from run-of-the-mill Christians because they're not the problem here, right? Now, however, Christian nationalists have decided to use that error to go on attack against Prisbilla. Shortly after her segment aired, conservative Christian groups led by Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council and Brian Birch of Catholic Vote sent a letter to Politico demanding an apology for the supposed smearing of the Christian faith. Perkins and Birch knocked Prisbilla for not acknowledging our own republic was founded on the belief that our rights come from God and not earthly kings or government, citing the Declaration of Independence. As a national investigative correspondent for Politico, Ms. Brisbalow is charged with reporting accurately on American government politics and law. It is deeply disturbing, therefore, that she appeared unaware of the opening of the Declaration of Independence or to its references of the laws of nature and of nature's God. The Christian leaders wrote, equally concerning is Miss Prisbilla's smearing of the Christian faith reflected in her comments. Her statements constituted an attempt to spread misinformation about Christians by creating the perception that they hold unique beliefs that pose a distinct and, in her words, extremist threat to our country. The letter continued, setting aside the inaccuracy of her commentary. She was, manifestly trying to demonize the Christian community and sow fear through propaganda, which I don't see how they can even come to that. She said not Christians. She was like separating it just even that, like she like stopped and was like, now I'm not talking about Christians, I'm talking about Christian nationalists. Like, how difficult is it for these fucking idiots to like look up a term, right? Or be like, okay, well, what is it? What is Christian nationalism? What does that mean? Because if you just like Google it for 2 fucking seconds, you'll see that Christian nationalism is pushing your religion and forcing everybody to live in accordance to your religion. In a country that's supposed to be free for all religions and non-religion. Principal attacks on God as the source of our dignity and rights are also a direct attack on the unifying call of the civil rights movement, including Martin Luther King Jr., who reminded us of our common creed, which grounded human dignity and rights explicitly in a creator God that no government has a right to take away. Her public platform and ability to reach millions makes this case even more disturbing. This is nothing more than right-wing hysteria masquerading as watchdog journalism. The Declaration of Independence is not the Constitution. I know they always do this. They always conflate those two, like they forget that they're two different things. Anyway, it's references to God or standard practice at the time, and many of the founders were not Christians at all. That includes Thomas Jefferson, who drafted the Declaration, but also compiled his own miracle-free Bible that people like Perkins and Burt would describe as heretical if Joe Biden ever did something similar. At no point did Priscilla smear the Christian faith. She's not spreading misinformation about Christians. She's accurately describing what one powerful faction of Christians plans to do if they acquire power, because they've been doing it and they continue to do it and promise to do it even more of it. It's also bizarre for Perkins to suggest he and MLK are on the same side, right, of this issue, when Perkins has a history of speaking to white supremacists and playing KKK leader David Duke for his supporter list. Oh, and paying KKK leader David Duke for his supporter list. Wow. Jesus Christ. That's great. And here's evidence of that. Jeez, gross. So let's switch back here. So that's what this is like about. It's about then, she didn't clarify specifically like what the definition of Christian nationalist is. And then these fucking propagandists, right? They just want to jump on anything and try to make it like, oh, everybody's so anti-Christian, and everybody in news, all fucking media is anti-Christian, it's just, no, man, it's just she just didn't clarify one thing that you could have easily checked on if you had given a fuck about, knowing true things. So let's hear more from this crap guy.
It blows my mind that this is what's being discussed. Listen again to what she said.
The problem.
Okay. Andrew said, who's pegging David Duke? Hopefully everybody. Hopefully literally everybody. And I hope they got like some strap-ons and stuff too to make it really just, up the size each time. Anyway. I don't know. Hope, yeah, that'd be. And if you want to get paid, the David Duke thing, I feel like ruins that. Let's not, Adam and Eve will not forgive me for that. I don't think if we do it, David. Anyway, so yeah, we'll do an ad later. But if you want to like and subscribe, that'd be great. That'd be great.
The problem with that is that they are determining men,
Mm-hmm.
it is men,
Yeah.
are determining what God is telling them. And in the past, that so-called natural law is, it's a pillar of Catholicism. Catholicism, for instance, it's been used for.
The irony of this is that people who don't believe in God, that are secularists, that are atheists, they play God in their own lives. They're playing God in our culture. They're telling us what is right, what is wrong, what words we need to say, what pronouns we need to use, the way we need to interact with each other, what we can inject in our bodies, and where can we go if we don't. what's mind-blowing,
Dude, that's so crazy. They're like, and they're playing God each individually by determining what is right and what is wrong and how we got to function as a community without vilifying members of that community so that we can all live in peace together. You fucking dunce. Like, it's not us like being God. I don't know why they always say we're just trying to fucking get along, man. And y'all are trying exactly to not get along. You know? You're trying to be like, no, I hate that group. So I don't have to use pronouns because I don't care about that group or whatever, you know? And and how often do they really, is anybody getting arrested for not using pronouns? I feel like that's not happening, you know? But you know,
is the
whatever.
very people that are accusing the quote unquote Christian nationalists, which are to be set apart from Christians, simply because they believe that that the right to life, these unalienable rights, which we're going to be talking about that phrase in a moment here, are given from God and not from government.
No, that's not what it means. Goddamn. Yes, they believe that, but they believe a lot of other things too, man. Jesus, just look up a fucking term.
And these people are the threat. The people that believe this are the threat. That's just.
Have you seen Handmaid's Tale, man? Yeah, it's a threat. It's a threat. Imagine if they got all of the power and everybody has to live as if they are fucking Christians.
Crazy, man. It's laughable. It's laughable that this is what people, this is how people are arguing.
Justice campaigns.
He can never push the button right. What is wrong with him? Like, why he has the hardest time just pushing a fucking button, dude. It's K, and it's just, you know, finish your fucking sentence and then put, you know.
Martin Luther King.
See how I did it? That was easy, right?
The threat. That's just crazy, man. It's laughable. It's laughable that this is what people, this is how people are arguing.
Justice campaigns. Martin Luther King evoked it in talking about civil rights, but now you have an extremist element of conservative Christians who say that this applies specifically to issues including abortion, gay marriage, and it's
100%.
going much further than that, as you see, for instance, with the ruling in Alabama this week. That judge is connected to that dominionist.
All right, I'm just going to go off and tell you what I think real quick. Here's
really, yeah,
why this is the most hypocritical argument ever. When people say you shouldn't blend your religious beliefs with political beliefs, that what you believe from a spiritual perspective has no place in the government.
They have the hardest time like being able to like parse these things out. Look, we're not saying that you can't have your religious beliefs and it's just that if we're deciding what is right politically, you can't point to your religion as the reason for why we should have that law. That's the thing. You can believe whatever you want. You can believe your political beliefs. You can believe your Christian beliefs. It doesn't fucking matter, right? But what you can't do is say, we need to make this law because of my religion. That's again, against the first, sentence of the first clause of the First Amendment. We shall make no law respecting a religion or limiting the right to worship thereof, right? So it's a both kind of thing. They're not trying to take away anybody's worship or anything, but they're also not going to make laws that make it so that the people that do want to worship get to control the other people that don't. It's that simple.
Here's the thing. Everybody is going to defend and advocate for their moral values in the public square. That's exactly what law is. People
not necessarily, man,
contending for their values in the public square. The difference, though, between whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Hindu, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Jew, and I'm not saying that they're all the same because they're not. They're fundamentally different at many levels.
That felt kind of racist. I'm not saying that they're the same because those other religions are weirdo,
levels. But the difference is people who come from a background of faith are willing to say, this is the standard for how I see the world morally.
So what, man? And humanists point to humanism as like what they, the standard that they see, so what, dude? Who gives a shit?
As everybody else is just coming up with like, well, it might change from decade to decade because that's exactly what's happened over the past 10 years.
Your religion has changed over the past 100 years, man. Are you fucking kidding me? They're like, my religion's just always been the same. The morals have never changed. They've never changed. Don't pay attention to that slavery thing. that the Bible advocates for, and then we somehow have to like do these mental gymnastics to get around us, like, you know, our perfect moral standard, somehow fucking including the most heinous thing you could possibly fucking do. You know, but we have the standard that just stays the same. You know, go fuck yourself, crap.
Everything that we are saying is evil to say now. We were saying 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
What about 100? What about 100? 150? Where's the line?
And nobody thought twice about it. But now, because culture...
And it's just not true either. 50 years ago, you guys didn't care about abortion because it's not actually a Christian belief. That's, if you look at Numbers chapter 5, verse 11, that's demonstrated in the Bible that you can, in fact, get an abortion according to your God.
Shifted. Like, it's a moving target, and everybody is contending for what they believe is right.
It's still a moving target for you guys, man. This is where it gets, it's just like, they drive me so insane because it's like they try to act like it's not a moving target for them, but it's a moving target for anybody that's not their religion. Everybody, it's a moving target because we're trying to get things better and better and better. And we're realizing what, you know, like how to do things better all the time. And it's, we have to sit there and fucking make things so inconvenient for these people, you know, to give a fuck about the powerless, you know, before they actually like, okay, fine, I guess we'll update the laws and everything since there's blocking traffic and shit, you know. And we had to do that so much because that's how progress happens. That's how we move forward with like morality actually making it all the way down to the regular people and not the most powerful, right? The most powerful people have a completely different set of moral values, you know.
The thing is, though, is that people who actually hold fast to an ancient scripture, that hold fast to ancient religions that have stood the test of time, at the very least,
literally,
whether you agree with their religion or not, at least these people are consistent, saying this is the word of God, this is what he says, this is what he cares about, and this is the value that I'm going to stand up for in the culture today. Have your kids ever talked back, buddy? You know, because if they talk back and you're not stoning them to death with the town, okay, then it hasn't stood the test of time. Then, you know, maybe we've updated this sucker. Okay, maybe that. I'm going to share with you a few more clips that are going to be wildly interesting to you based off of what we see here. But this just blows my mind, man. The absolute hypocrisy, the double standard for people who stand up for Judeo-Christian values, and how they're targeted as Christian nationalists and put under a blanket of extremism, because that's... They're so simple, man. They're just always looking for a reason to see themselves as the fucking victim. Because they believe in things like the sanctity of life, because they believe in things like the sanctity of marriage, the sanctity of like the life of something that's unborn. But if it kills the woman that's housing it, who gives a fuck? The thing that actually exists in any meaningful definition of the fucking word, you don't care about their existence or their well-being at all. It's the fucking cluster of fucking cells, because it's nothing. It has nothing to do with anything but manufacturing desperation. And y'all are too dumb to realize that that's just powerful people forcing you to push their agenda so that they can have their little workforce just be, you know, coming into existence all the time. And how marriage should be protected, and not, you can't just define marriage to be whatever you want it to be. And by the way, if you believe any of those things, still love you. But who the fuck? It's so funny, but you get to define like when the embryos are fucking people, and you can't freeze people. So nobody gets to have kids if you can't naturally have kids, even though we have the science to be able to do it. Hardly disagree with you. And that's where we as Americans need to come back to the place of, we can disagree on things and not just lump people under this category of extremism. By the way, oh my God, where do we get the definition from of extremism? Dude, this is so crazy. It's like, we got to work together, man. That's all we're trying to say, man. Like, we're trying to say we need to work together. Okay, I get that you believe this stuff. We don't. How can we meet in the fucking middle, or at least be able to survive, like, you know, living in the same country together without y'all like literally trying to like take rights away from all the people that don't live exactly like you, to the point where you're saying that they're not allowed to get fucking married? Are you insane? Jesus. If we don't have some standard of what morality actually looks like. Anyway. Oh my God, that just kills me with the whole standard thing. Like, it's just, dude, your standard has changed so much over time. And you have to know that. You have to know that. All you got to do is read the fucking Bible and be like, oh yeah, this doesn't apply anymore. That doesn't apply anymore. Oh yeah, can't murder your kid because they talk back or get drunk anymore. Oh yeah, you can't beat your children with a rod anymore. Like, your standard does not
hold the test of time. In fact, it's been like updated 1.5 million fucking times. Anyway, all right, sorry. Rant over. I think like let's take some comments. Oh, today Lynn wins. All right. Lynn wins the prize. Let's see here. It said freeze humans, wait till later. What is it? Oh, FID, I just walk into a retelling of Idiocracy. No shit. Yeah. I mean, isn't that what it feels like so often in this fucking country? Like, this is just the prequel. We are just the prequel, you know, to Idiocracy. I swear to God. It's fucking terrifying. Let's see. Captive Death. Hey, what's up, man? How we doing? By saying hello. Paul's here. Got what is it? Anonymous. Andronymous. Okay. That's a cool name, actually. I like that. Wolfo said, I'm back from the store. I got the cigarettes, and I think it's time for an oatmeal cookies and a couple bong rips. How y'all doing? That's great. I love it. It's like announcing what he's doing. Just sitting down with like the bag of chips or whatever. Oh, cigarettes. I'm sorry. No, the cigarette. Oh, an oatmeal cookie. So it's sitting down, lighting up a cigarette, get the oatmeal cookie. Those two go together good too. Like cigarettes don't go with a whole lot. Oatmeal cookies though. Oatmeal cookies go with everything. I mean, let's be real. Okay. Everybody thinks I'm weird for like an oatmeal cookies. I'm like, I fucking love. I wish they would just leave the raisins off. You know. Same thing with chocolate chip. Why isn't there a chocolate chip cookie without chocolate chips? I mean, is anybody else on this? Like, I don't know what's wrong with everybody. Like, I like the cookie part. Like, fuck the chips, man. They're too much. They're too dark. I don't know. Anyway. But let's see. Christian nationalism equals Christo-fascism. Yeah, seriously. I mean, that is the definition of it, right? That's what they don't ever seem to understand. I feel like they don't know what the word nationalism means. You know, because it's like I feel like they get weird about white nationalists too. They're like, hold on, but there are white people that live in this nation. Are you saying that they're not allowed to be white and live in this nation? That sounds pretty racist. Are you fucking what? Are you out? What? Are you serious? Are you nuts? What? Like, that's how fucking stupid these people are. Hey, Paul, hey, what's up, man? Rights come from something that doesn't have a possibility of the existence. Yeah, okay, I think I see what you're saying. Rights come from something that doesn't have possibility of the existence, right? So like we kind of need rights to come from something that demonstrably exists, right? You know, not something that's like, hey, but the invisible thing. Look at see the invisible thing over here that says that I get to have stuff, you know, and I should not be owned as property, you know, the invisible thing said that. Because you know what can happen? Somebody else can just show up with their fucking invisible thing and be like, well, my invisible thing says that I can own humans as property. And you know what? That happened in the past. So it's not very fucking helpful. You know? Let's see. Paul said, I'm getting tired. God is impossible to exist. I mean, yeah, it depends on the type of definition for God, but I agree, you know, when it comes to all the omnis and all that type of stuff. The William Lane Craig God just doesn't, no, you know, that one's impossible. And we're back to the Who's Pegging David Duke. And I think, again, you know, I like I'm saying all the time, that should be the name of a punk album right there. Okay. That's a punk album if I've ever seen one. Who's Pegging David Duke? And then show a picture of it. Be like the NoFX album, the PMRC could suck on this, where it's fuck, I can't remember the politicians. It's Ronald Reagan getting pegged by what's her name? Fuck, I can't remember old politicians. Some lady that was back, Thatcher. Anyway, I don't know, Margaret Thatcher. I think it was her. Oh, irony. Yep, that's all throughout this show. I mean, you're just gonna have to put your irony shield on because it's going to get all over everything. You know what I mean? Get your irony umbrella. That's what we need. Let's see. My BP is going up. Oh, really? Well, I mean, you know, the cost of oil is pretty high already. I can only imagine it getting any. I'm just kidding. You know, your blood pressure. I got it. I know. I threw you off for a second there. He's like, oh, he doesn't know what BP stands for. You know? Okay. I got you though. I got it. Blood pressure. Yeah. But the price of gas is kind of high right now anyway, too. So sort of a double meaning. This guy is mad at being othered while needing to otherwise everyone outside his social circle. I know they did. It's like they can't understand just like the basics of how we have to like interact and live together. It's just so difficult for them to like not understand that them like you only get othered, right? When you are purposefully like othering other people, you're trying to limit the rights of other people. Well, we have to limit your right to limit the rights of those you don't like. And they're like, now you're limiting my rights. And we're like, fucking exactly. If those are the rights that you want and that you think you should have, yes, we're limiting those fucking rights because you don't have the right to limit the rights of other people. This is so simple. Like, why is this difficult? You know? But they don't, it's doesn't matter how simple it is. I think they're being stupid on purpose in this, day and age almost because they want the rights to limit the rights of other people and they don't care. They don't care that that's unfair. They want it to be unfair. And if it is fair, then that means it's unfair to them. It's just a fucking big mind fuck. It's paradoxical. It's like creationists are laughable. I agree. It's like, it's pretty funny. It is, it's silly and funny. But yeah. Wolfo said 100%. I'm the guy I'm the guy she's talking about. I'm the extremist who wants to inject my beliefs into government, and I specifically only want us to make up the laws. Yeah, basically, exactly. Like I'm just so mad that other people might have a say in how the country is ran. And they're advocating for their own rights. If they don't, if they're not like if the Bible isn't totes like saying that they should be allowed to do whatever they want or whatever, specifically who they're allowed to be attracted to, anyway, their religion changed last week and the week before that and the week before that. It always changes according to the person, not the whole. Well, the funny thing, and I should have brought this up. I'm so glad you brought this up because let me put this back up. Because when he's talking about, oh, we have the standard, who does? Who has the standard? He's like, well, we do. Okay, which we? Well, Christians, of course. Oh, good thing there's not 2,000 fucking denominations in just this country alone. What are you talking about? The Calvinists? Are the Calvinists the ones? What about the Catholics? The Catholics are the ones that should have the like which version with the Westboro Baptist Church, like which version of Christianity? Because this is exactly how it's exactly not a standard, because a standard is what's called what's labeled as standardized, and in order for something to be standardized, it can't be all these fucking different things at the same time and all have the same label. It's completely outside. Like the only thing that makes a Christian at all is like A, they call themselves Christian, B, they believe in Jesus, right? And C, they ask for forgiveness or whatever. That's it. That's about the only three things that all these different groups have in common. Right. Yet he's saying that it's some kind of standard. It's so stupid. Like, it's just like, are you kidding me? Which denomination is the fucking standard, man? Jeez Louise. A God that drowned the planet because he, this is Michael, sorry. A God that drowned the planet because he was angry is not pro-life. And abortion is legal in Israel. No shit. That's a great way. Because didn't they specifically bring up Israel somewhere just now? So like, the God of Israel or whatever. And it's like, okay, but it's allowed in Israel. Why is that? You know why? Because Jewish people, don't care about that, because it was just a made up manipulation, because the Bible makes it pretty clear, with Numbers chapter 5, verse 11, that abortion is fine. And other places as well. But that life starts at first breath. They constantly talk about breath, the breath of life, the breath of life. God breathed life into the dust, and then it took. Like, obviously, that's when the Bible says like life begins. And no, they have to like bring it all the fucking way back to the embryos, and even if they're frozen, those are frozen fucking people. You gotta be kidding me! It's so stupid. Deep State said the Christian nationalists seem to hate it when people care about the poor. The Christian nationalists spread bullshit Putin and they lie through their teeth. Yeah, this whole but like believing everything Putin's saying and acting like Russia's so awesome is really freaky. And it's really weird. I would never have thought that the Republican Party would start just straight up doing the Russian propaganda themselves. Like I always knew that like Russian propaganda was like out there and everything, and I'm sure they're like putting out like their misinformation, their fucking whatever, all their conspiracy nonsense bullshit. Right. But I never thought that I'd see like right-wing pundits and right-wing YouTubers and stuff start being like, yeah, and Russia is so awesome. They should totes be allowed to invade Ukraine. You know why? Ukraine's Nazis. They're all just a bunch of Nazis. Like, it's insane. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really? You think? And they're like, yeah, that's just totally true. Why? Because Putin said, it's what the fuck? What? Why? Why is this a thing? It's great. It's because, they've put out so much propaganda and they're probably paying off a bunch of people. Like Tucker Carlson, he is a Russian shill, dude. Like he is a psyop. She's like, watch him just be a robot that had to go over there to get like a new battery placed in his head by Putin's like just open it up and he's like, that's on YouTube. That's on YouTube. That's on okay. Calibrated, complete. Jesus. So fucking weird. Wolfo said his mind must be very happy. It was blown like 5 times. I know he always says, this blows my mind. It's just like, to me, it sounds like some like little kid at Disney World or something. It just blows my mind. I don't even know. It's like a little child. That's what he seems like. Deep State said the Christian Nationalists also made golden images of Donald Trump for crying out loud. At Cornerstone Church, they were selling the golden Trump idol bobbleheads. What? Come by your graven images. Jesus, really? I didn't know that. I thought they were all like sufficiently embarrassed by that. Like, like, okay, it is kind of a golden calf. This is kind of weird. Okay, you're right. We're making golden statues for cult later. This is probably pretty obviously. Oh, no, they're just selling them now. No, we made little minis. You can worship that. It's like a little Buddha that you stick to your dashboard, like in that movie Crash. That what? Wow, dude, this is crazy. God, something's wrong with these people. Deep State said, I don't care about poor people and want to subsidize school lunches for financially disadvantaged kids because that's what was done for me under the Christians call me a communist. Yeah, I know. Well, if you want any free thing, if you want anything subsidized, because here's the thing: the ultra wealthy, and even just the regular wealthy at this point, they want the system to be as broken as possible because it's a lot easier to do everything they want to do within a system that isn't working, right? And then they can always keep the system not working by pointing to it and going, don't you want to vote for the guy that wants to keep the system not working? Because look how much the system doesn't work. So shouldn't you pay for the guy that's breaking the system? And they're like, you don't want those poors to be like eating food, getting decent education, being able to learn at school and everything so that they can make informed decisions at the voting ballot box. No. You want stupid people that can easily be manipulated by religion and racism and conspiracy bullshit. That's what you want. Like, why else do you think there's such an attack on education? Because a thinking populace can vote, can vote these people out because they know actually what's going on. They want to keep everybody as stupid as possible. Anyway, let's see. Deep State said, did I read that one? Yeah. Okay. Deep State said, for wanting the government to do for its people what it did in America during the Cold War. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy that we're like, just going back to the way things used to be. Is communism to these people. It's like, wow, dude, I don't even know how you can do this with your brain, but they do. It's impressive. It's an impressive level of stupid right there. Let's see, Lynn. Hey, Lynn. I somehow made brownies last night that tasted like tasted like the non-chocolate chip part of chocolate chip cookies. I committed a sorcery. That's awesome. Hell yeah, dude. That's my favorite pie. Like, I will just sit there, if I'm able, I will pick those fuckers out of the chocolate chip. I'll break them up. I'll break it up and just take the fuck, and then I'll smash it all together like Play-Doh. Whoa, sorry, that was loud. And yeah, and then I get my own little cookie, you know, of a non-chocolate chip cookie. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal. Right? We need to get on this. Deep State said, please forgive that last comment. I need to clarify. I want to subsidize school lunches for financially disadvantaged kids. That's what this country did for me, and the Christians call me a communist. Got it. Yeah, that's what I figured you meant. Let's see here. T-State said, I'm using speech to text, and it's helpful, but it also acts like a drunken elf sometimes and creates more problems than it's worth. Yeah, I have the hardest time with this talk to text thing, man. And I will be speaking so clearly, man. I'm at the bus stop, just everybody's looking at me. I'm like, I said, can you please do the launch? You know, and it's just, everybody's like, what is wrong with this guy? He's talking very weird. Let's see, Celtic. Hey, what's up, man? Celtic Fae. Okay, I like that. We need to stop giving credence to marriage is a religious thing. It's a legal thing. It was a legal contract to protect the patriarch's estate. These days, it's still a legal contract to protect. Yeah, that's the main thing, really, dude. Like that's sort of the whole point, right? Is that they are trying to claim a legal process, a legal, and you get like rights from it. You know what I mean? Because like, here's the thing: like, if a gay couple is married and one of them passes away, the other one, you know, gets that the money and everything that, you know, it had all those processes that would happen for a normal married couple that gay couple can get. If that is removed, that means that their family would be able to swoop in and just take all their stuff, you know. And it's like it would remove a lot of legal protections, because like you said, it's not a religious thing. It's a fucking legal thing. And it's insane that they want to sit there and act like, you know, oh no, we own marriage, like as if marriage didn't exist before Christianity. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm pretty sure Hindus do a marriage type thing, right? Like like every culture would, like, I don't know. It's just so stupid that they can sit there and act like they own it. Celtic said, let's see, both members for the couple's property and progeny. Yeah, exactly. Weddings are the religious part, and they are just a ceremony. The reason clergy are required to get credentials from the city/state is to sign that legal contract at the end of the ceremony, right? So yeah, that technically is the religious part, but they still, like you just said, the clergy still has to go get permissions from the state. You can't just be like, okay, my church decided that I am the pastor. Now I can have the legal right to marry people or whatever without doing anything, you know, without getting any permissions from the state. You can't do that. It's not which proves that it's not just a religious thing. It's a legal thing. And that's what actually matters here. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. 40. Wow. Jesus. Really? Wow. 40,000 denominations of Christianity. Fucking what? Like, so that's your standard right there. 40,000 different versions of it. That's so funny. Wolfo said, Tucker is just a useful idiot. Doesn't even need to get paid by the Russians. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, that was really weird. That whole thing of him going over to Russia to, like, I don't even know, to like just let Putin lie and not be able to say anything in response, because he's like, you know, before they got started, he's like, you disagree with me and I'll cut your head off. And he's like, okay, that's on YouTube. I can only say that's on YouTube because that's what R.M. Brown clip anyway. So yeah, I don't. And then he did, and he let him sit there and say like stuff like, it was Poland's fault that the Nazis invaded and shit, like just weird. And he's like, tell it, yeah, of course it is, you know, of course. Like, I think he even said that, of course. And then he just laughs weird enough that I don't ever want to, you know, I think he deserves to be in prison just for that laugh, you know. Who was it? Somebody was in interview with him, and they were just like, "You laugh so weird." Just said it to his face, and he was like, like, "It's so funny." Oh, that's great. Great. Smashing the patriarchy's here. Hey, that's what matters, you know. Hey, so what's up, dude? Once again, a day late and $1 short. Hey, that's all right. You know, we'll make it up tomorrow. You know, you gotta just save those dollars, and then we'll, you know, by the end of the week, you should be good. Pragmatic Crystal said, if you don't like being called a Christian nationalist, stop promoting Christian nationalism. Why is this, you know? You'd think this would be simple for them, right? No, they just, because they don't, the thing is, they don't want to learn anything enough to be able to like actually criticize anything they might be thinking. It's first thought is right, we're done thinking. First thought correct, we're done. You know, there is no evaluation of anything. You know, it's just, I'm right because I'm right. Because that's what faith does to people. I swear to God, that's why religious people are so fucking useful for right-wing fascists, right? Because they can just do this, you're right because you're right. And as long as they have the channel on TV that they can watch to validate all of their insanity, then, you know, they can just be like, but I'm right though. I'm right because the TV said it's, you know, OAN totes agrees with me. So you know, you know, I'm right, you know. And turns out, like, you know, did you hear about there was this family that like moved to Russia because of all the pro-Russia propaganda. And yeah, it's a nightmare for them, you know. And they sold all their stuff. This is so funny. Like, how stupid do you got to be, man, to like not get that this is. Anyway, hope they enjoy it. Hope they enjoy the decisions they made, you know, and be like, maybe we should think a little bit more before we just believe all the stupid propaganda on the screen, you know. You ask a couple questions. Wilfo said, you made it and it cost us nothing, but the lack of your being here, it all got better when you showed up. There you go, Az. That's your yeah, that's just propping you up, buddy. Hey, top tester's back. What's up? A duopoly? Is that how you say that? Duopoly is two arms of a singular body meant to strip the populace of their wealth and upwards mobility, being a Raytheon. Oh shit, I know Raytheon. Behind the bastards always time. Anyway, they always advertise for him for some reason. I don't know why they would want. I thought he was a socialist. Anyway, Raytheon make the decisions in our Congress. We need more options. I agree, totally. Let's see here. All right, let me let this dude keep going for a little bit longer, and then we'll get some more comments, and then we'll wrap up.
Wait, I'm going to share with you a few more video clips, and then some things that are just so interesting about this take. But before I do, I want to share with you, if you are interested in making a major dent in this massive woke wave that is just driving its way through everything that we see in the media, everything that we see in big tech, everything that we see in big education, and everything that we see in big business, you might think, well, how do we actually stand up to this massive narrative that's being jammed down our throats and is pitting an entire nation against itself? One simple thing that you and I can do is change up how we make decisions every day with our shopping. And I want to share with you right now a quick project, non-woke movie. To learn more, schedule a call with my supporting values that you care about. Switchwithcap.com to learn more. Now, here's where this lady, you know, bless her, like, let's just assume, give her the benefit of the doubt that she's just totally ignorant and has no idea of the founding of our country and what we stand for. Thomas Jefferson, who authored the Declaration of Independence. This is what he said, one of our founding fathers. He said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So what's he saying? He's saying that the reason why we even have a country that's not Great Britain, that we have our own country, United States of America, is because we believe this fundamental value, that your human dignity, the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to the pursuit of happiness, these fundamental human rights are not given to you by the Supreme Court. They are not given to you by Congress. They are not given to you by man, because if man can decide what you have the right to do, who gets to live and who doesn't get to live, then man can take away those rights whenever they please. And that's exactly, like, we need to start being a lot more open about what's happening right now. What's happening right now is there's a spiritual movement washing through the United States, and it's trying to drive God out of every area of our politics, every area of the public square, every area of education, every area of the judicial system. And what's happening is we are slowly, and now it's happening at a way more exponential rate, we're becoming a more godless country. And if people do not hold on to a relationship with God above the government, government becomes God. People become dependent on the government. People want the government to make all of these decisions for them. And let me tell you, you are infinitely more difficult to control as a human being if you believe in a God that sits above in a courtroom in heaven above the people of the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And there are people in this country that are terrified of people like you and me that hold fast to the idea that there is a God in heaven who's good, who's merciful, who's just, and is almighty.
Damn. Sorry, my thing button got stuck. Damn, I'm gonna have to reset that. My bad. All right, I messed up. Fuck, that sucks. All right, let me just do the rest of the comments, and then we'll wrap it for today. Cause I'm at like the end of my time. Damn, I can't believe I got stuck. Sorry about that. That's too funny. All right, let me go down some. Yeah. It's like you're muted, man. God damn it. Oh well. No sound, no sound. Sorry. Let me go past that. Damn, literally everybody's like you're muted. All right, let me do some more of these. And then
Above all human flesh. It's getting real, man. Like this is mainstream. This is on MSNBC. This type of thing a few decades ago, you wouldn't have somebody say something so asinine on a platform like this that's reaching half of the country, throwing anybody under this bus that says that your right as a human being comes from a creator who loves you, who created you with dignity, who created you in his image, and therefore it cannot be taken away from you. Crazy.
What did he? I feel like he misunderstood. He didn't finish his sentence right. I thought he was going to say "our Christian nationalist," right? But see, they're jumping on to the fact that she just didn't clarify the difference between like what she was saying when she was like, yeah, they believe that it comes from God. And she was just trying to make the point that, you know, if you believe that your rights come from God, you're still a human just deciding which God you think your rights come from, which means you're just a person that thinks that you should have rights and pointing to an invisible thing as a reason for it. And that's it, you know. But you know, of course they're going to take that misunderstanding and run with it. But anyway, so well, this stream got a little messed up because of fucking audio problem. But anyway, but thanks y'all for hanging out, and sorry about the audio problem. But trying to find if there's any comments that aren't you're muted. It's like, and I don't see any. With our power, top tester said, with our powers combined, you know, that's right. It sucks too because I had to like take down. I can't see the comments when I'm like reading because I was going back to reading the article, and since I have two things, like I've got it between this and this, I can't read while with the comments. I need more screens. That's the problem. Now I see why all the YouTubers got like 70,000 fucking screens when you look at their little studio setup. But anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for thanks for putting up with all of the muted nonsense. And I mean, but at least Michael thought it was funny. So I mean, I feel like that's worth it, right? It was a joke. That was a joke. This is a comedy podcast. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but this is shock top. I don't drink that, but shop talk, dude. I got I was able to get apply for monetization today, so that's what's happening. That's what's up, right? Oh, oops, wrong one. Let's see. I'll go to that one. Yeah. So so I will be hopefully being monetized. I did see, this is weird, like in the rules I was looking up, and because I want to make sure that once you get monetized, I think they take a little bit closer look at you. And they were saying, well, like in the rules it said like swearing and vulgar language, and I was like, what do you mean? What? That's not allowed, right? Like what? And they're not really being very specific about it. All I've seen though is that people have said as long as it's not in the first 7 seconds, which I'm like, is that right? Like that sounds weird to me. I mean, I don't know if Ember's still in the chat here. And I got it all the way at the bottom so I can see the new comments since everybody was just like, turn your fucking audio back on. But I don't. I can't, like, because if I can't swear, then this is going to be very fucking difficult. It's going to be like the hardest thing. You know what I mean? I don't know how I'm going to be able to manage that. So, Anyway, but yeah, so I'm gonna be getting monetized soon. So hopefully we'll have like super chats and shit like that soon, and can do the whole member thing, and then maybe I can start making some merch or something like that. Can have some having fun, you know. We can have some having fun with the merch stuffs, you know. And I think what we'll do is it'd be really fun if we could like I don't know, like do something where we have like phrases that come up a lot or something that we joke about, and we'll make shirts out of them or something like that, you know. Maybe like band names that are fake. That would be really funny. Like a fake punk band name that's just like something that we decided was a band name from one of the Ray Comfort videos or something, you know what I mean? Anyway, like a fake metal band. I don't know. It could be fun. We can we'll workshop it together, okay? We'll figure it out. But hey, thank y'all so much for hanging out. This is a lot of fun. And you know, I think I'm just gonna wrap it because I'm kind of exhausted now that I fucking I fucked it up. I might have to end up just pulling this down, and then I'll edit it and maybe put it out. See if I can fucking finagle around the mess up there. But thank y'all so much for hanging out. This is a lot of fun. And you know, we'll see you next time.